Hi guys, welcome back to another video. So today we are looking at Optimism Superchain and Optimism Ecosystem coins, which I think would be pretty good coin as of now. So I will just go over Optimism first and look at the coins as well. So I'm actually recording this at the last moment, so I did miss TRB, which is a pretty interesting coin, and you can also check my video out on that coin as well. So of course we are looking at Optimism tokens OP first, because this is a video about Optimism ecosystem. So first of all, it is fair to go over Optimism itself and see how it is doing. So as of now, it has been actually in a downtrend. I will come to the price section later. Before that, the biggest highlight about Optimism are their super chains. So basically, Optimism has gone super chain rather than multi chain. So they are basically scaling together. So they do have a pretty good ecosystem as of now. So I was able to find this OP chain list as of now. So the biggest one is a base. So this one is one of the biggest layer 2 solution along with Blast and Velodrome. If you look here, the base is the second biggest one in terms of TVL. So Optimism itself is a very lower around here. So after that, we do have Mental, we do have a Zora as well, and we do have a Worldcoin. So the Worldcoin actually announced their layer 2, as you can see here. So we do have that, and that is a pretty big thing for the Optimism itself. I think that is a pretty good for them, and I think that could be game changer for Optimism itself. After that, we do have a Celo, which I think is actually becoming a part of the Optimism, and which is a pretty good for them as well. We also have Evo, which is the Velodrome Finance. We also have a mod, which I just discussed and I also reviewed as well. So it does Optimism super chains are increasing day by day, and that is pretty good for them. So we also have a list as well. So I think that is a game changer for Optimism ecosystem, and their ecosystem is slowly growing. Another good thing about Optimism itself is that they have their retro funding, and they just actually dedicated their around 850 million OP tokens for the retro fund recently. So that's pretty big for them. So I think that is one of the game changer things the Optimism is doing. So they are retro PGF, so that means they actually do actively invest in their ecosystem, and I think that is a pretty good thing for the ecosystem as well as the ecosystem of the super chain as well. So if you look at the stats of the super chain as of now, we have around four layer 2s as of now. We have Mode, Zora, OP Magnet, and Base. So these are the layer 2 gas used per each. So we do have, as you can see here, the Base of course is at the top. So Base does have a lot of demand compared to OP, Zora, and Mode. So it is no surprise that the Base is way up here. So if you look at the transaction per day, as you can see, the Base is actually doing pretty good. And after that, we have Mode coming up. So they just launched their airdrop. So I think that is the most likely reason why they have actually started to get some users. So that is no surprise. After that, we do have these stats as well. So overall, the stats look pretty good, and they are actually growing slowly, as you can see here. So the Optimism DeFi, actually its TVL is doing pretty good. Of course, it's not increasing like the Base or Blast, but it's still it has been actually pretty stable, as you can see. So that is a pretty good thing for the Optimism, I think, and I think it will most likely grow once the DeFi itself does grow. And as of now, it's doing pretty good if we look at the overall market condition, and I think that is pretty good for them as well. So beside that, let's just look at the Optimism price and see where it is headed. So as of now, the biggest problem the Optimism itself is facing, I think, is their token vesting. So if you look here, we have a monthly unlock of around, I think the actual value is around 24 million, and these are for the half of it goes to the core contributors, and the second half goes to the investors. So that may be a reason why we have been seeing this sell pressure from here. So we did have a pretty big unlock, as you can see. So there we have a monthly unlock for the investors, as well as for the core contributors. So I think we have a slightly higher sell pressure coming in every month, so that could be the biggest reason why it is down from $4.8. So still I think the demand for the Optimism is there because it is a governance token, and I think most of the developers who are getting the retro funding as well as most of the investors are in the Optimism ecosystem because of the super chain and the biggest growth it has seen. So I think the token itself it still has a pretty good demand, but as of now, due to token unlocks, I think we are actually seeing slightly sell pressure. So as of now, it's going down, and it actually ejected around this resistance. If you look here, so it actually got rejected around here, which was a pretty hard resistance to break. So I think we are heading towards lower levels. So still this coin is a pretty good coin for the long run in from my perspective. If we are interested in this one, I think the base we do have pretty good entries. So the base entry I think is around 1.8 to 1.6. If not, if you are interested in getting into this coin pretty fast, I think we do have pretty good entry around 2.2 to $2.1 as well. So in terms of where it is headed, I think the coin could actually again hit its 4.8 all-time high if we see overall market recovering, but as of now it seems to be down over. Just a second, let me check its market cap from its max market cap. So if you look here, so it's down from 4.7 billion to 2.7 billion, and if we look at other layer 2s, we do have a lot of layer 2s actually coming up. So I think that could be another reason why it has been going down, because the competition is just too much in the layer 2 space as of now. So I think many traders are actually dividing their capital into different layer 2s for that reason. So I think the Optimum could actually again hit $4 billion because it's not that far, but as of now that is big if the market does recover. But as of now, it does not seems like we have the market is recovering, and it seems like the market itself is going down. So I think it would be a pretty this coin could be a pretty good to get into once the market is even lower than that. So I think we do have a pretty good entry point around 1.4 to 1.3 as well, including these two. This one is a bit riskier, but I think this one is a pretty good around 1.8 to 1.6. After that we have 1.4 to 1.3, and after that I think the best entry is around here, so which is I think probably around 1.2 to $1. If not, I think we do have a pretty good entry point around 0.9 or 90 cent as well. So in terms of its price, I think we could actually again end up hitting $4 or even higher than that. So if you are able to enter at the lower prices, I think we could be onto something, and that could be pretty good as well for this coin. So one of the most underrated project or undervalued project on the Optimism ecosystem, and I think that is a Velodrome. The reason being that they are the MetaDex, as well as they have a very big plan for the super chain. So if you look at their blog which they just shared, so their vision is actually to become a super chain hub for Optimism itself. We have Mode, we also have Lisk, we also have Bob as well. So they are, I think, becoming, or they are planning to become a hub for a super chain. So this is their Velodrome Superchain beta, where they will have self-contained gauge and automated market makers deployed on a superchain to enable liquidity bootstrapping. We also have the ability for layers and protocols to incentivize LPs directly on their native chains using the native network coin. We also have trading fees are compound and redistributed to LPs as a Velo emission, and voting will not yet be live. We also have all accessible through Velodrome front end. We also have Velodrome Superchain 1.0. We are supported by the early interoperability technology and started being deployed by OP Labs, rolling out soon. So we also have VE Velo voting occurs on OP mainnet for all superchain emissions, which is pretty good for them. We also have Velodrome Superchain 2.0, which is integrated liquidity infrastructure to seamlessly serve every major chain on the superchain network. So I think that is going to become a big one. So I think overall this is a pretty big for the Velodrome itself, and I think this is going to eventually grow Velodrome to enormous metadex like Aerodrome. So the reason why they have not mentioned here the base, I think, is because of the Aerodrome. So Aerodrome is actually using the Aerodrome itself is actually using the Velodrome's code. So that is basically a Velodrome's fork. So both of them share the same security code. So that is, you have to keep in mind. So that is the most likely reason why I think they have not shared the base here. So still, as long as the Aerodrome grows and the Velodrome grows, I think both of them will eventually end up benefiting each other. So I think that is a pretty big for the Velodrome as well. So in terms of Velo token itself, you have to understand that it does not have a max supply. So that is the, I guess, the biggest downside, which you can actually look at the Aerodrome for the Velodrome. So if you look here the Velodrome itself, just a second, I will just show you the actually graph of. Okay, so these are the emission, as you can see. So the supply does eventually increase and it does slowly does go up, so you have to keep that in mind. So looking at the Velodrome TVL, it has been actually doing pretty awesome. As you can see, it has been actually slowly going up. So they did launch recently on the mod as well. So I think the Velodrome itself does have a lot of potential, and they will, I think, eventually grow to be a pretty big one. So as of now, we are in the downtrend, as you can see. So I think this coin is looking for the long term. So I think we actually have to get into a proper entry. So the first entry which I'm looking at, or the best entry which I'm looking at, it is around 0.05 and 0.048. If not, I think we do have a pretty good entry point around here. So which is I think around 13 cent to 12 cent, which is a pretty good entry point. If not, I think we can actually enter even below here, which is around I think 0.08 to 0.07, and we do have a pretty good entry in between that as well. Just a second, let me get the bit. So I think this entry could be pretty interesting as well. Around 11 to 0.96 could be pretty good as well. So in terms of its price prediction, I think this coin could actually hit 50 cent or even higher than that, because as of now its market cap is very much lower than Aerodrome. So I think this could be pretty big in the future, but as of now I think we are in the correction, so we have to wait and see how it actually does. And if you are able to get these entries, I think we could be actually heading towards 21 cent. If not, I think 50 cent is a very much possibility in the future, once the ecosystem, or once they do actually become a hub for a super chain. So after that we have Synthetix Network, or SNX coin. This one is a pretty big coin on the Optimism as well. As you can see, it has a market cap of over 850 million. So this coin is actually on the Ethereum as well as on the Optimism itself, and as of now I think it does have a pretty big overall TVL. So it does have a TVL of around 565 million, out of which I think the Optimism has around 250 million, as you can see. And this coin has been actually growing. It is nowhere near its top, but still, as you can see, it did have a pretty good growth, but as of now it's going down again. So this coin is still the biggest one of the Optimism, and I think this could be actually onto something. So if you look, first of all, what is the Synthetix? So basically Synthetix is the decentralized liquidity provisions protocol built on top of Ethereum and Optimism. So Synthetix assets and associated products are collateralized by stakers via Synthetix Network token, which is SNX. So the SNX token does have a demand because it is required to actually mint those tokens. So which, when locked in a staking contract, enables the issuance of the synthetic assets, which is called synths. This pooled collateral model allows users to actually perform conversions between synths directly with the smart contract, avoiding the need for counterparty. This mechanism solves the liquidity and slippage issues experienced by the DEXs. So basically, Synthetix provides liquidity for the permissionless derivatives like perpetuals, futures, options, and pre-mutual market conditions and others. So as you can see, they do have pretty good integrations as well. So we have Venta, which is preps. We also have Polynomial. We have Hedge, which is also asset management. We also have Lyra. We have Thales. We have Curve. We have Taurus. We have Overtime Market. So they do have pretty good ecosystem. And as of now, they have their demand, I think, is actually decreasing. So if you look here, this is the TVL is, I think, is for the stakers, and it has been going down. So the overall stats actually have been going down. As you can see, we have depth share actually going down as well. After that, we have actually the volume on Synthetix is going down slightly. We even have the fees going down as well. We have the fees structure going down as well. So I think the overall the demand for the Synthetix has been going down recently. But the good thing about this coin is that it has seen a lot of big pumps. So I think this coin could be pretty good to get into if we are able to get the entries at the lower level. So as you can see, it has actually seen a pretty good growth. It went from $1.3 to as high as $5. So I think if we are able to get entries below these points, it could be a pretty good coin to hold. So the first entry which I am looking at, of course, is actually very close, which is around 2.4 to 2.3. This is a very risky entry, so you have to be careful, because I think if it does break this one, it could actually go even at a lower level. So after that, we I think have a pretty good entry point around 2.2 to $2 as well, which is a pretty interesting entry as well. So after that, we actually may even have a entry around 1.8 to 1.6, pretty good entry, as well. And after that, I think the last but not least, the entry which I am looking at would be around 1.4 to 1.3, which is actually pretty interesting entry. So if we look at the weekly chart, it has been in the very high downtrend. So I think if you are able to get in these entries, we could be onto something. And this actually if you look here, this actually in the downtrend is actually reflected in the DeFi, in its staker. So as long as the staking does go up, I think we'll see the reversal here as well. So that is a pretty good indicator to find out if it wants to go up as well. So I think if you are able to get these entries, and the biggest one I am looking at are these one. So if you are able to get this entry and this one, I think we could be actually onto something. So after that, we have Synapse or SYN coin. So I have actually made a review on this one. You can also check that out as well. So this coin is a pretty interesting one because it is a secure cross communication, which it could be pretty big. Synapse is the most widely used extendable secure cross communication network built truly on-chain application using Synapse Protocol. So they have a bridge, which, as you can see here, we have actually various networks here. You can use Optimism to actually transfer or to the bridge to any of these networks as well. So they do have a pretty big network, and I think that could be something to actually look at. So after that, we do have their own explorer, which, as you can see here, if you just look here, just a second, let me see the feed as well. So these are the activities. They are mostly volume is actually on the Arbitrum. We have Ethereum. We do have Optimism, but which is way lower here. So I think overall this coin could be pretty big. As you can see, the volume, the cumulative volume is actually increasing, which is pretty good. So if we look at the daily volume of the 6 months, it has been doing fairly well. As you can see, as of now, we have the base Optimism out there. So I think this coin is actually seeing a lot of growth. As of now, we have the Blast and the base Arbitrum, Ethereum, and another Optimism. So I think there are a lot of activities going on daily. So I think they are onto something, and which is pretty good for this coin, I think. So getting into this coin, as of now, it has a market cap of around 160 million. So at its peak, I think it had the market cap of around, just a second, it had the market cap of around just below the 800 million, so which I think is around 700 million or something like that. So 750 million to be exact. And recently it did go as high as 300 million. So I think we could actually go up to that same level if we do see a more demand for this coin. So if we look at its resistance, I think it could actually hit again $2 point if we see a pretty good demand. So this coin could be a pretty good for the long run, but I think it is better to wait for this coin to get into around 49 to 36 cent range, or even lower than that. So entering as of now may not be a good idea, because it does not seems like this coin does have that much demand, but it has seen a pretty good pumps, as you can see. So I think the first entry would be, which I'm looking at, is around 49 to 36 cent. After that we do have pretty good entry point around 32 to 26 cent as well. So if you're interested in this one, getting this one here at this point, I think it is better to wait to get into this coin around 83. I think it is 80 75 to 66 could be a pretty good entry point this coin as well. So after that we have Hasflow or HFT. This coin is a pretty big one. As of now it has a market cap of around 120 million, and circulating supply is where the problem actually comes in. So it has a supply of around 400 million, but this coin is a pretty interesting one. So if you look at its utility, so it is basically base prices, deep liquidity, every token. So they have a native cross chain transactions where you can actually trade your tokens in one place. So they have the best prices overall. So I think that is the biggest reason why they are actually doing that. And if we look at, as of now, they do have actually campaign going on where an Arbitrum on Arbitrum trade, so users can actually earn Arbitrum on Arbitrum trade. So it is also in the Optimism ecosystem as well, including Ethereum, even others. So as of now, as you can see, we do have Optimism as well supported here. So you can actually trade to various Optimism tokens. So that is a pretty big thing here. So I think that is the main reason why it is going over that state. So beside that, if we do look at the stats, do we have anything going on there? I don't think we have, but I think this coin does have a pretty good interesting utility, and I think this could be big as well. So beside that, the biggest problem this coin actually is facing as of now is their vesting. So if you look here, in 30 days we have around 30 million HFT coin coming into the supply, out of which most of it is going towards early investors and core team. So we may see a slightly sell pressure. As you can see, this is the vesting schedule for this coin, and by 2029 we will have 1 billion HFT in the market. So that means this is a slow sell pressure, which I think eventually will build in, and we may end up seeing this coin even going down. So the biggest thing which as of now I'm looking at is this deviation. So this is a support around here. So this deviation here, if you look at here, I think we will probably go to around 36 cent or even higher than that after actually hitting 29 cents. So I think we do have a pretty good entry here. So if you are interested in this coin, I think the first entry would be around 29 to 30 cent, and I think we may even go up from here. After that, this coin seems like a pretty good coin for the long term hold. The reason being that it allows the multi-chain swap and the best prices across various networks. So that could be big, and I think many traders do use that, and I think that is a pretty good for this coin. The second entry I'm looking at is around 25 to 24 cent, and after that we do have a pretty good entry point around 21 to 20 cents. So this coin does occasionally pump. So I think if you are able to get these and these three entries in dollar cost average points, I think we could actually sell as it goes up. So that could be a pretty profitable trade, or even better than that. So I think this coin, it is not worth it to hold for a long term, but I think this could be a pretty good option for a short term trade if you're looking at that. So after that we have ShapeShift FOX, or the Fox coin. So this coin is a pretty interesting one because they just settled down with the SEC, and that the amount was not that big. So I think this coin could be onto something, and I think they could actually, it is a low market cap as you can see here, and they are actually on the Optimism as well. So this coin could be a pretty big one in the long run, because they have a pretty good products, which includes they are actually basically a multi-chain crypto home base. So They have actually a DEX which actually allows trade any token, trade any chain or any time. So they have around 15 blockchains, which is a pretty good one. So they actually have aggregator as well, so which is a pretty interesting one as well. So they also did actually launch their ShapeShift multi-chain snap, which is for the MetaMask multi-chain snap, which is a pretty big product if you look at it from their perspective. So they actually introduced the ShapeShift multi-chain snap for the MetaMask. So basically unlock native Bitcoin, Atom, Dogecoin or more with the MetaMask wallet, so which is a pretty big thing for them, and I think that could be a pretty big thing as well. So they are doing pretty interesting work. So they actually settled down with the SEC, and I think that could be pretty big for this coin as well. So they have around 170 plus wallets. They also have 10k plus assets and 13 chains. So if you look at their Google Play or their downloads, let's just see they do have over 50k downloads, which is a pretty massive amount. So I think this coin could be pretty good to hold in the future. As of now, I actually have not looked at its price, just search that and see what's going on with this token. So if we look here, as of now we are actually in the we are in the downtrend, of course, in the long run, but as of now I think we are at the pretty good side. I don't actually see any price action here, so it could be pretty risky or pretty just a second. So I'm looking at this supply, which seems pretty interesting. So around 0.006 or 0.06A4, which looks pretty good as well. So it is hard to crack this coin because I don't think it is following any price action as of now. But if we are able to get these entries, I think it could be a pretty good coin to hold. So another entry which I'm looking at is around 0.036 or 0.03, but as of now it's trading around 0.086 or 8.6 cents. So I think this coin could be pretty good coin to hold, but entering as of now I'm not really sure what is going on with this coin's price action. So it depends on you. If you are interested in this coin, I think we do have a pretty good entry point around 0.06 or 0.064 or even 0.063. So in terms of its price prediction, let's just check its peak where the market cap was actually. So if we look here, if we look at its peak of the market cap, it has actually gone over 100 million or around 200 million, but that big pump was I think caused by the whale, so we are not including that. But I think it is possible to hit 100 million market cap for this coin. So that means we'll be trading above 0.4 or 40 cents. So that could be pretty big for this coin. So I think this coin could be a pretty interesting coin to hold in the long run, or even the short run if you are able to get entries around here and here. So this video has actually become a very long video, and I did not want it to be that long, but I will just try to conclude this video with some honorable mentions. So if you look at the Optimism ecosystem, we do have a pretty good coins which I have actually not covered. We have a Velodrome Finance, which is on the Optimism. We also have a Evo, which could be pretty big, and it's actually growing on Optimism as well. So if we look here, we have Pendle, which is the biggest which is becoming the biggest actually, the biggest DeFi platform in the crypto market. If you look here, we do have a Pendle around, I think it's around 4.45 billion, which it could be pretty big. So that could be pretty big as well. We also have an Anchor, we have Osaka. So Osaka protocol or Osaka coin seems pretty interesting because not only it is on the Optimism, it's also on the base as well, which could be pretty big for it as well. So I think this coin could be interesting to look at as well. So as far as availability, it's mostly available on the DEXs, as you can see here. After that, we have CyberConnect, could be interesting as well. We have a KTC or CTSI is an interesting coin. We have a KNC, which is a very interesting coin, but they have actually been do have some problems, but this is a pretty interesting coin as well. We also have Stargate Finance, which could be good. We also have Perpetual which is a pretty interesting coin because the perpetuals are actually very popular. So PRP is a pretty interesting coin as well. We have Venta or Quenta as well, so which seems pretty good. We also have a DForce. Their DForce does have a stable coin which is actually becoming popular as well, but of course they are not on the Optimism, so I am not actually sure why it is here, but it is interesting. We also have Cryptic Finance, which is not on Optimism, but it's mentioned in the Optimism ecosystem here for some reason. So this was it. I hope you liked the video. I will be back with more. Thanks for watching. So if I did miss any of the coin which you think actually fits here, please feel free to mention in the comment section below. Thank you.